toll. And can you just tell us specifically how you sustained the injury and just your emotions before you? Was it the same pitch that you returned to on yesterday?
Yeah. It was the same pitch. We were just doing an 11v11 sort of thing, and then.
Yesterday, you mean?
The injury. Yeah. It's quite a unique, not unique, but it's not that common. It was like a patella tendon rupture, and I was by myself. I just went to play a pass. I sort of planted my foot, and then it ruptured. It was quite gruesome. My kneecap was halfway up my knee and then up my leg, and yeah, a lot of it's a blur because obviously it was a bit painful. But from that point, it was obviously a massive part of my life, probably the hardest point in my career. Just that moment because of how it happened. And then, the last time I saw Gareth, I was on the bed waiting for the ambulance. So, yeah, it was tough. And it is a big part of my journey that I wouldn't shy away from. Obviously, I've moved past it, and a big part of my application and my motivation comes from working in that period to get back, and I don't ever want to lose that because it's shaped me into who I am. And I just think losing sight of where I've come from is important. I don't lose that. So it's definitely changed my application towards everything, recovery, gym work, and so on, and just keeping it up. I think it's important, but I'm at peace with what happened, and definitely moved past this that long ago now. It's not.
Can you sort of go through in the same kind of detail?
Yeah, it was obviously from the outside looking in, no one would realise, but it was a bit surreal. I've sort of prepared myself mentally, obviously, but I think there obviously naturally was probably a bit of an underlying trauma that I could sort of draw a line under coming back, and it meant a lot in that sense for sure.
Joe, you had a few games behind closed doors for England, your last 3 games. So your last game in front of fans was the game where, when you came on, there were some boos in the stadium. I mean, how did that feel, and how did you deal with that and process that?
It was obviously testing. Like it was. You never want that to happen in front of your home crowd, but. It was obviously a scenario that moved long past now, and I'm looking forward to getting back in front of the fans and playing. I think Wembley's such a special stadium that playing in the cup finals and so on, being there every time is special. So I understood that. I didn't delve too deep into it or let it consume me too much. I understood it wasn't great. Obviously, I'd be lying, but it is what it is, part of football.
Jack, can I ask you a question about sort of the messaging from Gareth and the staff around this camp in comparison to sort of when you were last in the group? Because 4 years ago the team were building towards something, and now you're heading into this summer. There's a feeling that you're on the cusp of and on the brink of actually achieving winning a trophy. Have you found the sense that kind of messaging and the sense around the squad has shifted and changed?
Yeah, definitely. I think rightly so, with the success that the team's had. I think the manager mentioned the world rankings that England were 13th or 14th at that point when we last played Brazil. So I think the team and the manager have done unbelievably well, and now sitting where they are, and I think going into the Euros should definitely it's definitely creates a confidence. I think the identity of the team and the philosophy behind the way that Gareth wants to play is clear, and I think going off the back of the successes in the World Cup and the Euros, I think it's a given that the team understands that probably our favourites in some senses to do well, but there's also that underlying confidence that it can be backed up, but it's obviously a long way to go, and it's going to be a process to get through the group and so on, but there's definitely the past to look back on and see the results in the Euros and the World Cup and say like it's achievable.
It's just last of all for me. Is there a feeling from your point of view that because of that there can be no kind of bedding back in period for you? You've got to hit the ground running if you're going to have any chance of sort of making the squad in the summer?
Yeah, I think that's always the case. I think you have to try and put your best foot forward in this environment, and as I said, it's always a case in my view of just one game at a time and hoping that all comes together to get in the mix. But you always want to do your best when you're wearing this shirt, and that will never change.
Just the last one before I get Anthony Gordon, Mike.
Just on the recovery from injury, how mentally testing was that for you? Was it almost a surprise to you how mentally testing that could be? And also, were there anybody in particular that you really lent on during that time?
Yeah, it was. I think more so psychologically because I was by myself, the nature of the injury, and trusting my body again, because obviously I need to do that sort of movement again. And there was a lot of people. It's hard. I think first and foremost my wife, just supporting me unconditionally, and obviously my boys, or at the time my eldest son, people at the club, obviously the physios, and just helping shape my whole outlook. I had to sort of change my processes and understand all the finer details. And the surgeon, there's countless people that I probably do a disservice to if I didn't name them. And I think it was definitely the hardest point, not just as a footballer, but as an individual, just sort of worrying, having that uncertainty about the future, and sort of falling away a bit, and understanding that I've got a long way to go, worrying if I'd be able to get back to a level. So, but I'm grateful for it all, just because, like I say, it's helped shape me, and I can always lean on it to keep perspective and a wider view of things. No matter the scenario, I think I can always look back to those moments and see the positives.
Thanks, everyone. See you next.
Cheers.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.